Alrighty, we're going to be making dab, or also called American plaice. She looks a lot like a flounder, and they're in the same family, they're cousins. It's a flatfish, beautiful, usually 1 1/4 to 2 pounds fish. This is what it looks like whole. When you get it in your market or at the fishmonger, they're going to fillet it for you, but we wanted you to see what she looks like. Very silly with those 2 eyes on one side of the head. They start out whole and then they open up flat so the eyes end up both on one side. I'll show you the fillets. This is what you're going to be working with, these beautiful fillets. And like Al told us, the fillets, make sure that their smell is just fresh and clean, not fishy, and that it's firm to the touch and it's not dry or curling up on the edges or hardening. We're going to just dredge it in a little bit of flour, a sauce of butter, lemon, and fresh parsley, and that's it. It's a riff on sole à la meunière, a classic French dish. I'll start with the flounder right in the flour. Flounder, I called it flounder, but it is dab. But you could substitute flounder, yellowtail flounder, also a lovely local Gloucester fish. Okay, so for the first dish we did with the dab, also called American plaice, was the meunière style, which was all about the butter, lemon, a little bit of parsley, super simple, très French. Our second dish with the dab, we're gonna a little nod to Sicily with an agrodolce style fish. What agrodolce means is sweet and sour. So instead of butter, I'm going to be using extra virgin olive oil, enough to coat the pan, and then some. The oil or the butter has to come about halfway up the side of the fish, or anytime you're pan frying, halfway up. Dredged in the flour, and again, I'm going to let that olive oil heat up a little bit, shake off the excess, and again, you don't want to be way back here tossing your fish or whatever it is into a hot pan because you're going to splash. Get up close and gently lay it in the pan away from you so that if it does splash, the splash will be on that side, not coming towards you. So boom, in the pan away from me, like so. And we're going to let that cook. Just like the first one, we want it to cook about halfway up the side. When it becomes translucent, opaque, white, firm, we're going to get on there and turn it over. This sauce, we just used butter and lemon and parsley. This time we're going to use capers, which are from the caperberry. Very salty. If you get the big caperberry, sometimes they're packed in salt. These are packed in a brine. You can chop them up a little bit. Very, very powerful. If you don't like a lot of caper, don't add a lot of caper to your dish. Sultanas, also called white raisins. This is the sweetness. This is the dolce part of the agrodolce in this dish. You could use regular raisins if you wanted to, but these ones I think go better with the green and the white of the pine nuts. If you didn't have pine nuts, you could use almonds, but we're thinking about Sicily, so pine nuts are very traditional. Balsamic vinegar, that's going to be our sweet and sour part of it as well. And then a little bit of onion, and I'm going to just give that a slice while our fish is cooking here. You want to thinly slice it and use small onions because we want them to cook quickly. This is fast, healthy, quick eating. Slice my onion in half that way. And then just quick run through with my knife in thin pieces. And keeping one eye on the onion and the other eye on the fish, and it's just about ready to turn over. And that should be plenty of onion. I'll set those aside. And just like I did the first time, I want to get my hand on top of the fish for leverage. Again, I'm not sticking my hand in the oil or the butter. The fish has not touched the heat. This side of the fish has not touched the heat. I get under there and I turn it away from me. Beautiful. So that was about 2 minutes on the first side. Because of the freshness and the thickness of the fish, maybe about 45 seconds on the other side. This is all ready to go. And we're just going to let that finish cooking, and then we'll finish our sauce. So the fish is just about cooked. I'll get my serving plate. Put that here for now. Beautiful. Oh, it smells so good. And I've got a lot of oil in this pan, so I'm going to pour some of that off. Some of it we'll need for the sauce. Okay. In go these beautiful, thinly sliced onions. And again, we want the onions to cook really quickly, so that's why you want to thinly slice them. Or you could even dice them if you wanted to. Okay? Let those soften up. I like them to have a little bit of a crunch, but you don't want a raw onion either. So we'll let those cook for about a minute until they become translucent and really aromatic. Give them a little stir here. Oh, they're really beginning to smell just lovely, sweetened up, a little bit crunchy. Now I'm going to add balsamic vinegar, and the balsamic vinegar is going to add a lot of flavor, but it's also going to help loosen up any of the brown bits that are on the bottom of the pan. So I'm going to scrape up those brown bits because they're going to become part of the sauce. You can get a balsamic facial while you're at it. Smell-o-vision, that's what we need. And when that thickens up, you have just a little bit of liquid left in the pan. You can see it's getting nice and syrupy. It's really thickened up. In go the capers. Sultanas. Not too many. Just enough. We'll give you the recipe at gloucesterfresh.com, don't worry. Some of the pine nuts. Give that a stir. Turn our flame off. And that's how fast it is. Boom. Start to finish. 5 minutes. You've got time for that. I'll spoon this right over the fish like so. There we go. Beautiful. Always a little bit of a garnish. We just happen to have some fresh parsley. I'll tuck that in right into there. Bob's your uncle.